ultimately, that game was there for us for the taking. I know Chelsea fans will sit there and say they can feel hard done by because he didn't win. That's fine. But ultimately, I feel we should have got a penalty because I don't care how close he is. That header's going on target. That header's going on target. His hands have stopped it from going on target. That, to me, I don't get why that is then not a penalty when it's denial of what could be a goal-scoring opportunity.
Because it's hitting his chest. It wasn't going on target at all.
It's not hitting his chest.
Hitting his chest.
In commentary,
it's his hand. Hand
here. Hitting his chest.
In commentary,
that's his hand.
Well, in commentary, Tom, they said that because his arm was closer to his body, that's the reason why it wasn't given. That's what they said.
I don't know how somebody says it hit his chest.
It did hit his chest. Hit his hand.
It didn't hit his chest at all.
Guys, I want to be better at this season. When someone's explaining why they think something, let's wait for them to finish, then we kind of jump in and counter it. Tom, like, what is it? Just so I can hear properly, what is it that you think makes this a penalty?
That header is going on target. I don't care if it's there. If it hits your hand there, leave your hand down by your side and let it hit your chest. Ultimately, that's hit his hand and then went out. It's missed the goal completely. That, for me, then has to sit there and go, well, that's denial of a goal-scoring opportunity because that header is going on target.
It's not going on target. It's hitting his chest.
It is. Don't watch the other.
If his hands are here,
it's going on
it's
target.
hitting his chest. It's not going on target. If his
hands
are here,
if you know the history, if you know the history of Anthony Taylor, you'll know that it wasn't a penalty because this man hates Chelsea. So
Don.
It wasn't
not even that. Not even that. Let me say be objective as a football fan, man. Let's all watch football together, yeah? Watch that clip again. He didn't intentionally put his arm out. The ball hit his hand, yes.
How's that in that position? He's not in the box. He's not
Guys, one at a time. Let people finish their points and challenge, please. Sorry, go on.
Let me finish off, yeah? You can say your piece. If his arm was more out of his shoulder width and he's looking around all like oblivious and he hits his hand, that's a stupid decision, man. That's a penalty. He's got his hands tucked in like this. What do you want him to do? Like, where's he supposed to put his hands? Tell me. I want to respond. Somehow, where's he supposed to put his hands?
A natural position. He's supposed to put his hands in a natural position. It doesn't matter what he's doing or not. The matter of fact is, Luis Diaz has headed that ball on target. It's hit Nicholas Jackson's hand and went off target.
It's not on target. Why? Stop saying that. It's not on target. It's not on target.
Why did Robert Sanchez make a dive for it then if it's not on target?
Why Robert Sanchez on target? His head is not on target. If it hits Jackson, who's not near the goal, it's not like that.
He's not near the goal.
It went near the goal after it touched Jackson, but not.
Tom, you're reaching a bit because you're going on as if it was a goal scoring opportunity.
Are you tying this, guys? Are you tying
guys,
this?
You're reaching and deflecting in the same.
If you get put in the big screen, it means it's your turn to talk. Go on, Rack.
Look, it can go either way. Gary Neville himself said in commentary this could go either way. They looked at and they made a decision. I think there's a possibility that it could have been given, and there's a possibility that it couldn't have been given. And in this particular instance, it went Chelsea's way. I think it's close one way or the other. Because yes, okay, he's like that. If you look at it sideways, his arm is also a little bit further away from his chest. It's not right here. So it could go either way. There's another angle where they freeze framed it, and it's closer. That's when the ball's actually come off. He's actually, if you look at this way, his arm is actually further out. It could go either way. They got the rub of the green. Fair enough. It is what it is.
Yeah, Don. A minute ago, you said that Tom's reaching. What do you mean by that?
You're reaching, bro, because that header wasn't like a venomous header that stopped a goal scoring opportunity. Do you know what I mean? It was just Jackson was in the way, and there was more bodies behind Jackson anyway. So it didn't stop a goal scoring opportunity, like a blatant goal scoring opportunity. It just hit one of our players in our box. It wasn't. Can anyone else say that was a pure? That was a clear header. That was a clear header.
The same chance as you. To me, I looked at that header. Luis Diaz is unmarked. He's flicked it on. Your goalkeeper has committed.
So it's not on target then? If he's flicked it on, it's not on target, right? If he's flicked it on, it's not on target.
Can I finish?
I'm just saying.
He's flicked it on towards the goal. Sorry, I'll correct my decision. He's flicked it on towards the goal. Ultimately, it's hit Nicholas Jackson's hand and went just past the post on the other side. To me, unless Luis Diaz has failed to connect with that header, there was another angle which showed behind the back post, and you could see that it was going on target. to me, I don't see how you can look at that, see it's hit his hand, and then go, that's fine. Because then all I'm going to tell my defence to do is go as close as you want, do whatever you want, keep your hands there though, and then you're all right. You're all right because that's close to your body. That's close enough. You're all right. That's not how it goes. That header is going on target. We didn't deserve to win that game. I'm not going to sit there and say we deserve to win that game because we didn't. But to me, when I'm having decisions like that go against me, what is the point in this? What is the point? Because...
No, but Tom, I think the issue is, I agree with you. But the issue is you're talking as if it's a clear and error, and that you should have got a pen where we just established a 50-50. So your example, if it happened in another game and if it was given, we wouldn't be complaining, would we? Because you'd be like, well, it could have gone either way. So I think why everyone's confused about your argument is because you're very adamant it should be the pen, which most of the people
obviously I'm going to be. I'm a Liverpool fan. I want the penalty.
You shouldn't be Liverpool. In these decisions with referees, it's not a Liverpool fan and Chelsea fan. Try and look at it objectively. Because whatever happens,
can you also understand my point where I say
I understand, but
that's going on target. It's his hand.
The angle you're coming at is just like it was a clear error and like it should have been a pen and there was a massive mistake. To me, I don't really think so. To
me, I think he should have said. I don't like the fact that VAR isn't sending the referees to the monitors at that point. That is a contentious decision. That is a 50-50 decision. So let the referee go have another look at it.
I think you don't know the rules of VAR. I think you don't know the rules of VAR.
I think the rules of VAR are flawed in its entirety.
Well, then why are you complaining here and why not complaining to? It's like VAR rules, man. It's not our rules. We didn't make it. Do you know the reason why he didn't go to VAR? I can tell you. Because he made the decision on the field. To overturn that decision, VAR has to have a clear-cut mistake by a referee. Do you understand?
I do. But I
okay, well, again, let me explain it to you again. If it going to VAR, it has to be 100% mistake by referee. Referee made a call. Do you understand? VAR cannot overturn it.
That wasn't my point. My point was I don't agree with the rules as they are. I believe if you're the referee on the pitch, in 50-50 decisions like that, you should be given another look at them. You should be allowed to have another look at those decisions.
I get where you're coming from. G, obviously, you're a Liverpool fan. Do you agree with Tom? Do you feel like you were hard done by today?
Nah, not hard done by. I think Chelsea will look at that and think they maybe should have edged that game, if I'm being totally honest with you. They had the whole of the second half. We had that first 35 minutes, and if we had got that disallowed goal from Salah, then I reckon we could have potentially have just like run away with it. But that second half, it was so reminiscent of last season. That's what bugged me about the game, because it was so typical that if you don't score in that phase of play where we have those 35 minutes, if we don't score again, you saw what happened today. If Chelsea just had a bit more quality, that's Chelsea's game right there. Like for me personally, like, you know, second half, we lacked something, intensity. I thought we were actually going to come out in that second half and it was going to be all us in terms of coming out, because we do that sometimes. We'll come out in that second half, bang, we just hit them first 5-10 minutes and then the game just starts to fade away for the opposition. That did not happen. Chelsea came out and it was just different. Enzo, I don't even know what more to say. Completely bossed the entire midfield by himself in that second half. No, we couldn't even get near him. And even when we did get near him, he was popping the ball off and just, he was like walking around, and it was just getting to the point where I was starting to think, Klopp, I understand why you've probably played Gakpo in the first half. I get it, because you probably wanted to have him kind of floating, you know, and probably thinking that if Gakpo's floating, it would then give Chelsea's midfield a bit of a problem. He did absolutely nothing the entire game. He was Liverpool's worst player, in my personal opinion. You know, watching him play, I was thinking you need to have him up top where he can drop into the midfield. Once he drops into the midfield, that gives Chelsea's midfield a bit of a problem. Then you've got the wingers doing what they do. But we didn't have that. He was just in no man's land. Jota was absolutely like, he was another problem. And the way that we were pressing, we weren't really pressing as a unit. So I was sitting there thinking, either press or don't press. Stop doing this half and half thing. It's not making any sense. Like, we're not doing anything. All Chelsea are doing, overload on the right-hand side, Reece James, Raheem Sterling. That's why I felt sorry for Robert. I saw people cooking him online. I was like, have you played 2v1 before in football? Because I promise you ain't winning 9 times out of 10. You're not going to win. Do you get what I'm saying? So when everyone's saying, oh, Robert looks poor and this, I'm like, nah, it's not Robert looks poor. It's 2v1 every single time. That's where you need Gakpo, Diaz, switch your brains on a little bit. How about you drop in and you help a little bit? because then what's then going to happen is McAllister's got to then come over. Once McAllister comes over, bang, Chelsea just got the space in the middle. And in the middle, now you've got Enzo, Gallagher, Chukwuemeka. He's just floating in the middle of the pitch. And then Chelsea can always come inside. Yes, we've got space out wide, but in the middle of the pitch, it was just all... It just looked poor. I mean, on the ball, McAllister in that first half, he was really, really good in that first 35 minutes, threading the passes in. He was finding little pockets of spaces, but defense in transition, I've said it 100 million times, it's not going to matter signing Caicedo, signing Lavia. I've said this, it doesn't matter. Sign these players, sign Verratti, sign Cruz, sign Modric. It's not going to make any difference